Hi, this is Janisha Cottrell, and today I wanted to talk about strength to weakness. So, what made me want to talk about turning your strength into weakness is earlier today I was in one of my moods, and I wasn't in a bad mood or anything like that. I'm usually always in a good mood, or I'm just in my feelings, or something like that. And so, for the most part, I'm mostly happy all the time. And every once in a while, I have these moments where I just feel like the weight of the world, if that makes any sense. And it's not that I have pressure on me from anyone else or someone's making me feel like I have to do something. It's mostly just me, myself. It's really just I want to do everything perfectly. I want to do the best that I can. I want to be the best version of myself. I want to be better than what I used to be. And by being better, I mean when things come up in my life, when things show up that I feel like I should have already been over, it makes me feel a certain type of way. Like I really get in my feelings about it. Like I'll be like, didn't we already go through this? Like, didn't God already bring me through this? Why is this something that I'm struggling with at this moment? And it's funny because I was in church earlier today and the pastor was preaching about love and how you should love your neighbors and you should love everyone. And sometimes when you're going through life, you might be a kind person, but you might not be leading with love. You might not be showing love to other people. And then he went in on talking about how loving your neighbor doesn't necessarily mean the person next door. It can be any person that you encounter. And sometimes people will seem like they don't deserve you to be kind and loving to them, but you should be if you plan on being with God, if you plan on being a Christian, if you plan on living the right way. It's something that you should do, regardless of anyone else's actions. And I was listening to the sermon and I was listening to loving others and how I thought about how most of the time I'm always loving and kind to pretty much everyone, no matter who they are, no matter how they've treated me in the past, no matter what's going on in their life or whatever else. I usually always lead with love. And I was sitting there listening to the sermon and listening to the things that it was saying. I had to pause the video. So I don't really remember where I was at in that part. Oh, I think I was saying something about how I'm always loving to other people and that's not something I struggle with. I don't really struggle with giving love to other people. I struggle with showing that same kindness to myself. Like when I'm doing something, I'm always harder on myself than I would be on another person. Like if someone else made a mistake or did something, I would be like, that's life. You're going to fail. You're going to do better the next time, or just do the best that you can. Or when they receive happiness or they get something that they want, I'm so happy for them. And like when I see like couples or if I see like people that get a new position or whatever else, I'm usually always happy for them. And so when it comes to me, I'm just like trying to make myself be happy for myself. And and it was weird because earlier when I listened to the sermon, I was just like, okay, and I was really feeling in a mood. I really was. I wasn't feeling like all in like I usually do. I wasn't feeling like present in the moment. I really felt like so much was on my mind. It was hard for me to focus. And all I could think about was the things that I wouldn't be able to get at this very moment. All I could think about is the things that weren't happening right now. And I know that sounds weird and crazy because I really have no control over when things are going to happen in my life, but I just felt really out of control. And I was reading a book earlier today. I didn't read the whole book. I just read like a chapter just to kind of go over it. And it's one of these, it's one of the books that's like a memoir and it's by Jenny something. And it's called Get Out of Your Own Mind or something like that, or out of something about your mind. And I'll probably link it if I remember to do it, but it's a really great book. And I read it in pieces because I feel like every day I need a little bit more of it. And it's not one of those books that I want to rush through. It's one of those books that I'll probably keep, I'll probably have with me and probably continue to use like the one book Make It Work by TG Jr. And I just constantly read it, whether I'm in a relationship, out of a relationship, whatever else. I'll go back and read like what my standards were, or I'll go back and read like different things that, are good to have in any type of relationship or friendship, or the way that, you should be in different scenarios in your life. And like it's a good roadmap of what I would want my future to look like, or what type of person I would like to be. And so I like to go back and read it occasionally. Like I've read the book, I went back over it, I looked at it again last month, which wasn't that long ago. And so it'll be a book like that that I continuously go back and read, just like my book. I actually sometimes I'll be sitting there and someone will say, "Oh my gosh, when you wrote this, it really made me think about this." And I'll go back and I'll look at it and I'll be like, I had no idea what the book was going to be, how it was going to affect other people, or if people were going to be able to relate to it or anything. Like, I just did it to be obedient. And so when people say things about the book, I never expected, like, I don't know what I expected. I didn't expect anything, really. I just expected to be obedient and to do it. I didn't expect, people to buy it, or for people to resonate with it, or people to like say that it inspired them in some way, or encouraged them, or made them feel like they want to talk about the things that they did in their past or whatever else. And I really didn't expect any of it at all. And so for me, it's just kind of like I want to be happy. Like it does touch my heart that it has helped other people. But for me, being happy for myself, I don't know. It's just, it is what it is. And so after I listened to the sermon and I had my moment, and I really, really had a moment earlier. And I'd like to sit here and pretend like everything's all good and everything's all peaches and cream, and like I do this thing called outfit of the week on my on my on my social media sites, or whatever, on my social media site. And I got it from TG Jr. when I was in my healing process, things that will like help you heal and grow, and things like that. And every week when I do an outfit, it really does make me feel better. It makes me feel like, even if I don't feel like it, even if I feel like crap or something else, like, because I love fashion, it's one of the things that really helps pull me out of things. It's like, or I'll do it and it'll bring some kind of joy to me. It'll be something that I enjoy doing. And not only do I enjoy it, but now I hear other people say that they enjoy when I do it, because at first I would just do outfit of the week, and then I started adding like a blurb in there. So people enjoy the blurb because it helps keep them peaceful, or give them like motivation or something else like that. And I had to make sure that I was on the right track. I did not want to just do this video or do something and then just turn it into something that was about me. I wanted to make sure that no matter what I'm doing, I'm giving glory to God. And sometimes it's easy for us to be selfish or egotistical and just focus only on ourselves and just do things for our own selfish gain. And I really want to make sure that everything I do in my life has God in it. Everything I'm doing in my life is because of God. I don't want to ever make it seem as if I'm making it through things or doing things for my own benefit. It's always for God. And so after I had my moment this morning, I mean, I really was in my feelings, and I can't explain what it was that made me feel a certain type of way or whatever else. It wasn't like, there's so many good things that have happened. And if you watch the last video, you know that when good things happen to me, it's really hard for me to just like acknowledge it and be happy in that moment. Like I'll smile and stuff like that, and I'm always nice to other people, and I'm joyous and I have peace in my life. But when it comes to allowing myself to just be happy, it's really hard to do because I don't know. It's it's so weird for me to say that in this video because I know people are going to judge me and say, well, you have joy and peace because, God gives you that joy that's unspeakable, unsomething. And I'm really finding it hard to focus right now. And it's not that I just have so much on my mind right now. I'm trying to really make it through this season of my life in one piece. And I know God's there with me every step of the way. It just isn't easy. And it's taking everything in me to be able to just pull through. And I'd like to sit here and pretend like everything's always all good. And I'm everything is great and everything else, but I'm not going to sit here and just pretend to be fake and not be transparent, especially when I know other people are deciding to give their life to God and they're deciding to try to do the right thing. When you decide, know that it's still going to be hard, but God will be with you regardless. And I was listening to another sermon after church, and I know it sounds like extra, but I really needed like more. And I feel like even with all of the things that I have in my life, sometimes the storms feel so heavy. Sometimes the trials and the tribulations feel like a lot. And I'm not going to lie and pretend like, oh, it's easy. Because God's in my life, it's easy. I still have to go through it. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I can't go around it. I can't pretend as if it doesn't exist. I can't lean on anything as a crutch. I can't have a crutch going through my season. I just have to go through it. And it's really hard. It really is. The only difference is because I have God, I know I can make it through. Because I have God, I know that I will be stronger. I know He will use it to benefit the kingdom. And whatever it is that I'm doing, whenever the storm is horrible or it feels like a lot or it feels like it's draining me, like I don't mean draining my energy. When I feel like my hope or like my faith is like really weak. And I know I say that and you're like, what? But when I feel like my hope is really weak and I call on God and He's the strength for me and I make it through the storm, when I come out on the other end, I'm always stronger. Like I feel like I'm strong at the beginning and then I go through the storm and the next thing you know, I feel even stronger. I feel like I have even more motivation. I feel like I have even more power. I feel like that I don't know how to describe it, but it doesn't feel good when I'm in the storm, but when I get out of it, I feel amazing. Like I feel like unstoppable. I feel like God, I don't know how to describe it, but it's unlike anything I've ever felt in my entire life. And when I was listening to the second sermon, it talked about the pressure that you have to go under, the pressure that you have to go through to get to different things in your life. How, sometimes you'll want something in your life that God says is not for you. And like whether it's a job or a friendship or whatever else, and you will be feeling like crap. I don't know how to describe it any other way. That's the word, like the shortest word and the best word that I can describe when you really aren't feeling it. And and when you get in that moment when you are feeling like crap because you want something that God doesn't want for you because He has better for you. It really doesn't feel great in the moment. You really feel like, why do I have to go through this? But you forgot that you have to walk through the valley of the shadow of death. You keep asking yourself, why did I have to get an opportunity to get this job if I have to turn it down? If God is saying that I need something else, or why can't I be friends with this group of people or this person, or why can't I have this person or whatever else it is in your life? And God will literally he will not give you something that's going to be bad for you. He's not going to give you something that's way less than something that you deserve. He's not going to give you someone who doesn't appreciate you when he knows that there's someone that will appreciate you. He's not going to give you the job just for the money when he knows you're going to be worn out and you're going to hate the job, or you're going to be exhausted, or it's going to take you away from church or whatever else. He wants you to be in a place where you can still be you and hopeful and have peace in your life. He would rather you have peace over everything else. Just because you want something doesn't mean it's good for you. Just because you might want the ice cream doesn't mean it's good for you. Just because you want, oh, and like a little side note, I make this healthy ice cream. I always make something. And I say I don't cook, but I really don't cook. This is just for me. This is what I do for myself. And occasionally I have to make dinner because I have a child. It's not something that I enjoy doing, or like, I mean, I have my moments where I want to make stuff, but I'm not a cook at all. I do not enjoy cooking. There's some people that really enjoy doing it, and it's great that they enjoy doing that. I just don't have that gene. And so I'm making this healthy ice cream, and I mean, that thing looks so good. If I was the type of YouTuber that puts like pictures up, I would put a picture right there of what it looks like. But I'm not that type of YouTuber, so it probably won't be in this video. But I made this fake ice cream ish stuff, and I cut up like some strawberries and put them on top, and I put like some unsweetened cocoa powder because ice cream has like sweetener or whatever in it already, some kind of sweetening stuff. And so the cocoa powder is on top. It's like a powdered, kind of like when you're doing like powdered sugar on top of pancakes or something like that. So I do like a little dusting of the cocoa powder on top of the fake ice cream because I like chocolate. And so I do that and cut up some strawberries in a circle. So it's all around the outside of the ice cream is these strawberries. And then I grind up some almonds. So it's like I don't know how to describe it, but I like have like crushed almonds and I sprinkle those on top, and it's so delicious. But this it's a way to keep me eating healthy in like the best way, because I'm the type of healthy eater where if it's disgusting, I'm not gonna eat it. If it has no flavor, sorry for the flavorless people, but I'm not gonna eat it. And so I really have to enjoy the food that I'm eating in order for me to stick to it. Because if it's disgusting, there's no way. Like I would just have to be 230 or something. Like, I don't know, an unhealthy 230 if I couldn't have food that I like to eat, or if I couldn't eat food in mass amounts. Like, I might eat a full cucumber or like a giant bowl of popcorn or something like that, but it's something that is not many calories because it's not extra butter and all this other stuff. So I can eat as much as I want and still lose weight. No, I'm not losing weight. I'm just exercising and trying to be stronger. And I just like to feed my body as healthy of things as I possibly can. And I still eat unhealthy things every once in a while. It's not that I gave up pizza or anything like that. Like I still enjoy a good slice of pizza. A good back in the day it would have been a good box of pizza, but but a good like half a box of pizza or four slices or three or whatever else. I still enjoy that. I try not to overindulge, and I try to make sure that I don't like order extra because I'm that person that just I need to make sure that I can like really keep track and prohibit myself from overindulging. So so I really have to focus on that. But anyways, back to the story. So whether it's food, some kind of food that you want that you know isn't good for you, or a friendship or a job or a person or whatever else, you really have to use discernment and allow God to take the lead. And if you're like me, sometimes you're not going to understand why you have to go through the storm. You're not going to understand why you can't have that delicious ice cream, or that amazing job with all these benefits, or the amazing person who seems like they're, if I cursed, I'd say the D word, D near perfect. But, but really, sometimes just because we can't see why God is doing what he's doing in our lives, or telling us that we can't have certain things at a moment, or that something isn't going to be good for us, or God won't allow us to have certain things in our life, does not mean that he's saying that he's withholding everything from you, or taking something from you, or trying to be like the mean kid that's trying to like hold something over you because you're shorter and you can't reach it. Like, he's not a God that he would dangle something in front of you that's for you just to make you cry or make you upset or make you feel unappreciated or feel like you're not good enough. He's not doing it for that reason. Sometimes when we selfishly want things and we go for it and on our own time or whatever else it is, it's something that we want. It's not what God wants. So you have to really truly take a moment and ask yourself, is this what God wants, or is this what I want for my life? And what we want will always seem good at the moment, just like when Satan's tempting us. It'll always look good in that moment. It'll always feel good in the moment. It'll always seem good in the moment, but it will never be good for us. It will never benefit us. It might be temporarily beneficial. Let's just put it that way. But it will never have longevity. Anything that God touches has longevity because it's meant to last. It's meant to be something that is really for you. And if you have a moment where you feel like what is for you, and you just can't understand why you can't have that job or whatever else it is that you're wanting in your life, remember that God has better for you. And if that's not enough, know that it will not do you any good to try to get the things that you want, knowing that it's going to end in disaster. You might not ever understand why you can't have certain things in your life. It might seem perfect, whatever else it is. But when you truly take a moment and think to yourself, is this benefiting you in your life right now? Is this something that you could truly see giving you what you need, giving you the peace that you need? If you meet someone and they're not giving you peace in your life, then it's probably not a good thing. And even if you want it, it's not going to benefit your life. You need to ask yourself, is the job worth my peace? Is it worth me having peace of mind? Is the friendship worth that? Is the person worth that? And if your answer is no, they're not worth your peace, then you have your answer.